Hi everyone, today we're starting at page 123 and we're focusing on the metal compound colours. Now you could be asked in the exam any of these metal compounds and about their colours. So the question will simply be something like, what is the colour of aluminium nitrate? What is the colour of zinc chloride? And you have to know that. So this table is very useful on page 123 for you to just learn and to use then for your help. So we're going to get started now. All group 1 compounds, when they're a solid, are white. And you don't need to say anything about them other than they are white. You don't need to describe them as crystals or powders, just their colour. So all group 1 compounds, that's things like a lithium compound, sodium, potassium. So any of them are white as a solid. All group 1 solutions then, when they're a compound, are colourless. So remember, when they're a compound, they've got to be bonded to something else, and when they're in solution, they're colourless. Group 2 compounds, when they're solids, are also white. And I want you to think about it like this. Group 2 like to behave as Group 1 does. They like to copy Group 1. They're just not as reactive. So if Group 1 is white, Group 2 will be white. And again, when the Group 2 compound is a solution, it will be colourless. Don't be afraid to pause this as you're going through to make sure you get these written down. The aluminium compound then, so any aluminium compound, if it's a solid, will also be white. And when the aluminium compound is in solution, it will be colourless. So hopefully you're noticing this is just getting repetitive. Zinc compounds like to behave like aluminium, so they are white when they're a solid. And then when the zinc compound is in solution, it is colourless. Now, copper metal, this is the one where people fall and they look at the colour that you can see here on the screen and they go, oh, it's like a bronzy colour. But remember, in chemistry, we only accept the colour red, pink for copper. And you've got to have the little hyphen in between the two colours. No forward slashes, not just a space. It's got to be red hyphen pink. They are very pernickety about that. So make sure you get that right. Copper 2 oxide then is a black powder. Okay, so it's black. Remember the 2 here after copper is its valency. So this is copper with a valency of 2. It's a transition metal. Any of those transition metals in that rectangle in the middle of the periodic table, they can change their valency, remember? But the most common type for copper is copper 2. So that's why it's here, and the compound here is black. Copper 2 carbonate, this is one you've used in Key Stage 3 as well, is green. And then one of my favourites, hydrated copper 2 sulfate. It might be poisonous, but it does look very pretty with this lovely blue colour. So we just describe it as blue. Remember, the anhydrous version will be different. Hydrated means it contains water of crystallization. Anhydrous means there's no water in it. So the lovely blue one contains water of crystallization. So if they give you an example that you haven't seen in this table, the general rule of thumb for a copper 2 salt is that it will be blue. Okay, so say it's one that you haven't seen here before. You should just write blue as your answer if you're stuck or if you take a mind blank. Make sure you've got all of the spaces completed on page 123 for your table and use that to help you. Once you get that done, I want you to move on to page 124 and 125 to the summary questions. Your task for the remainder of today's lesson is to complete these questions. Use your notes to help you. I don't want to see any blank spaces. There's no need for that. Take your time, and then once you've completed it, submit these 2 pages to Google Classroom as either a PDF or as pictures in a Google Doc, and then I will mark them for you. So not very much to do today compared to the last lesson. We're filling out the table on page 123, that should be done, and then we're completing page 124 and 125, and they should be dead easy for you at this stage. Now we've covered everything. Okay, all the best. Any problems, don't be afraid to get in touch with me. Chat soon.